he ghosts you, 6 points on your license immediately.
Oh my God, my makeup.
That's why I believe in like off with his head on the first offence.
You need to be underestimated with the vibe of like, oh, I can't afford my own drink. Oh,
Girl, he ghosted me.
what is wrong with them?
So what happened was...
Welcome back to another episode of Dream On Podcast with me, your host, Lottie Moss. This week, we have a very exciting guest, author and all-round female empowerment inspiration, Chidera Agaru, aka Slumflower. Welcome to the podcast, my love. We actually know each other as well. Ew. So we met doing the Oxford Union debate.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we did. How did you find that?
I found it intense because we were surrounded by some of the world's smartest people and we were supposed to be debating them as well.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of pressure, but I feel like me and you just had a kiki the whole time.
You were so good, babe. And do you know what? And it's so annoying. I had this whole thing like written out, like, as in I got my friend to write it for me. I didn't write it myself. No, me and my friend wrote it together and we were like, oh my God, okay, this is amazing. We had to like perfect it. We've been doing this for weeks, babe. And you showed up, no cards, nothing, not even, she just did it from her brain. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to like, because you went first, I was like, I'm going to like shit. Because I've got this, I'm like, they're like, so shit. It was so nerve-wracking, but I will say everyone was so nice.
Yes.
Do you not think everyone was like actually so unexpectedly like nice?
Yeah, they were really receptive to us. And I felt like it was cool to see you in a different version of yourself.
Aww.
I mean, yeah, because people don't expect us to have range, you know, like we're baddies and we can go to Oxford.
This is the thing, babes. We can do it all, really. We are women.
Exactly.
We can do it all. So we'll start off with your career path started in fashion, transitioned to writing and speaking on social issues. How did this change happen?
So I was always keen on fashion from the perspective of having done a fashion degree at London College of Fashion. I thought I was going to be a fashion designer, but
I see that for
unfortunately,
you, though.
I know. I mean, I still see it in my future.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I failed uni because then I got depressed in final year.
But you
So
don't
then-
need uni to do fashion.
Well, clearly now I've seen you don't need uni, but
Yeah.
back in like 2015, 16, that was the messaging we were all made to believe, right? You need a course, you need a degree.
Where did you go?
London College of Fashion.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Was it really? Because isn't like fashion colleges, like my friend went to St. Martin's and dropped out. Apparently it's so much like stress. It's so much
it's
pressure.
very stressful.
Yeah.
And so during that period where I was at university, social media was kind of coming up in a place where fashion bloggers were newly a thing. Back then, fashion bloggers were the OG influencers.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, like
There was no influencers. There was
no
literally fashion bloggers.
influencers. Yeah, like I remember reading fashion blogs and only reading them to find out what they're wearing and like find like, you know, click on their links. And I didn't know that those are all affiliate links, but that's how they were making their money back then.
Yeah.
So I had my own little fashion blog, but I also had a Twitter account where I'd promote the fashion blog and I'll speak a lot on my Twitter account, which led to me then slowly becoming more outspoken about social issues. And it then became more of a thing that would take up my social field, social feed, social issues. And now I'm known for speaking up of things of that nature.
She's got her own little book as well. I don't even know why am I talking about huge book.
It's a Sunday
babes.
Times #1 bestseller.
But that's quite a nice like, humble brag, isn't it? To have it on New York Times bestseller. That's insane.
I mean, it's crazy. What a Time to Be Alone came out in 2018 and then it became a Sunday Times #1 bestseller in the pandemic because my book, What a Time to Be Alone, is all about embracing solitude, finding value in your own company, releasing the fear of being alone. And of course, the pandemic made a lot of people feel alone for the first time in a considerable amount of time in their lives. And so that book became relevant again, almost. So it's so interesting how none of us saw the pandemic coming, but something like a book coming out 2-3 years beforehand and then becoming a bestseller later.
Yeah.
It's
Really
very
relevant.
fascinating.
Because it was such a time where everyone was like alone. Do you know what I mean? Even if you had people around you, it felt
You had to
very
isolate.
lonely. Yeah, you had to isolate. Do you know what I mean? When did you get so like brave at talking about these kind of social issues? Because it is like it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about, sort of being alone or being lonely or being, you know what I mean? It's quite a subject that you don't really want to admit.
Yeah, and for me, being alone is something that I've heard a lot of people discuss from a position of like, it's a circumstance rather than a choice.
Yeah.
Like when people say things to you like, oh, you're so beautiful, why are you single?
Yeah.
Almost like you can't be single by choice. It's like
Yeah.
you being single is something that happened to you
Yeah.
rather than you deciding to just be
You were
single.
damned with it or something.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, yeah.
oh, you got this illness. I'm so sorry. You know there's a cream for that, right?
Yeah. There is a cure, and it's love from somebody else.
You can get on the waiting list
Yeah,
of the NHS. Just wait 50 weeks.
Yeah, literally, me, it's never happening. So that's fun. I've been on that fucking waiting list for years.
Don't worry, just keep waiting, babe.
Yeah.
3 more years to
Yeah.
go. So people look at solitude and loneliness like a stain, like an illness, like something incurable. And for me, I didn't find that it was any of those things. I found that for me, I found myself making more grounded decisions because I felt comfortable being alone. I live alone. And I think that has played a huge role in me feeling comfortable with being by myself, because when you live alone, you're in charge of your own space and you can decorate it how you like. You can leave a plate in the sink and wash it in the morning if you want to. No one's going to be like, why did you leave that plate in the sink?
My dishes and my sink currently are relating to that heavy. It's full to the brim.
Girl.
But it's so true. I literally looked at it this morning and I was like, oh, I'll deal with that later.
Exactly. Like you just
Yeah.
decide what your day is going to look like. And
Yeah.
I love my solitude so
I
much.
love being independent as well. I'm so like that. I honestly love it. I would hate to live with anyone.
I think about this all the time.
Have you lived with
Lottie.
anyone before?
Well, I used to live with my family, but like that's
course.
mandatory because it was a child. I didn't have a choice, right? Have you ever lived with a mum before or a dad?
Just popped out your mum's vagina and she was like, right, I'd like to inquire about renting.
Oh God, no renting history because I'm 5, but you know, we can start somewhere, right? Literally, yeah, that's my backstory.
I might be a little bit messy, but
But you know, if you just give me some time, I'll
give me
pick up
some
the
time.
pace.
I'll get better. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because
No, you're right. It's so true though, because people literally think of it as like a punishment.
yeah,
It's like, oh, you're alone, like lonely, like no one must love. But it's so funny because like I genuinely think that when I see women who are like powerful, strong women who are alone, who are like not alone, but like, do you know what I mean? They're like,
yeah,
you know, choosing
unwed
to be alone or
spinster.
Yes,
unwed spinster.
unwed spinster, a cat woman. No, when I see women like that, I never think, oh my God, she must be alone and no one must love her and all of this. I think, oh wow. Like, what a fucking woman. Do you know what I mean? No one looks like Jennifer Aniston and thinks, oh, no one loves her. Like, do you know what I mean? But I always think to myself, oh, if I'm not in a relationship, people are going to think that no one wants me. Do you know what I mean?
And it's so interesting because what you said earlier about you don't want to live with anyone else. I think about this all the time. Like, I don't want to live with a man because I've lived with
That's
brothers and a
punishment.
dad. That is a punishment ritual for sure. Because you know when the men like shave their beard in the sink and then they rinse the
This is
sink,
my
the
biggest-
hair clippings that are left.
And because I've seen it in like my exes, like, or like people that, you know, guys' houses that I've gone to, and I'm like,
Oh, it's actually
my
disgusting.
God, it's feral. You can make a sweater with the amount of hair in those fucking tubs.
It's
It is
disgusting.
fucking feral.
And like, you know, the ways when they're brushing their teeth and like they leave behind like a sludge of spit and toothpaste mixed in.
And it's all over the like thing that they keep their toothbrush.
Like, please respect the ceramic.
Molding.
Yeah, like it's
Molding.
growing its own teeth.
There's a family living in there, like. But
A
I actually
colony.
am yet to go to like a man's house where actually no, I have. There are a few guys that I've been to where I'm like, wow, you are clean. But like, I remember when I went to my ex's house and I cleaned the bathroom because I was like, I can't do this. I'm not showering in here. I'm not doing that. I'm not having a bath in that fucking grotty bath.
I'm reaching a stage now where, you know, these days they're making all these kind of like gadgets and stuff that you can buy from like TikTok and Amazon. I'm reaching a stage where if I want to stay at someone's house, I need to carry like a foldable silicone mat that I can just lay on the floor in their bathroom or in their shower.
You're gonna say you're gonna bring like your cleaning supply.
You're so rude.
Imagine.
Is that rude? I think that's rude, isn't it? It's
Yes,
kind of rude.
that is
Come to
rude.
someone's
Yeah,
house.
yeah, definitely.
I'm not the cleaner, I'm just cleaning
But
for
if
upstairs.
it's a man, it's
I think that's
oh we
a
won't.
given.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's
I can't live with a man, Lottie.
no.
I see myself
How
genuinely.
did you find living with your brother and your dad? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 2 brothers and a dad. And like, I guess because my brothers were so young, like they were much younger when I moved out and they weren't really at the age of shaving, I didn't experience the trauma of their hair clippings. But I think that even outside of my dad and my brothers, like I think it's just living with a man as a concept.
Babe, even the mixed bathrooms is a situation for me that I can't deal with. The toilet seat up.
And then like, you know, like the pee stains that have been there
Oh.
like when the pee darkens.
Yes.
And it's got like a solid ring around.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to have a man in my life who I care about enough to date, not only will, because if we're living together, not only will I need to have my own room and bathroom, I need my own living, I need my own wing in the house.
True. Yeah.
At this
My parents
point,
sleep in separate rooms.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Even my dad snores so badly, and he also has a machine now that he uses with like oxygen and stuff like that. So it's so my mum's like, I can't fucking deal with that noise.
Yeah, it's too much.
My mum and dad have always had separate duvets, and I love that.
I love that because they don't fight over the duvet.
In Norway, my mum's Norwegian, and she said everyone in Norway has their own separate duvets when they sleep in a bed together. And I was like, that is tea, because I hate sharing a duvet. That's my what.
Yeah, because it's never equal.
Yeah,
I don't want my bum cheeks exposed to the wind.
They always have, and they always have the most. They always have the whole thing, and I'm there. I'm like one
a little sheet of toilet roll.
I mean, it's feral. It's so bad. Yeah, no, I completely agree about that, to be honest.
I'm definitely the solitude lady for sure. That's why I love.
How did you get so comfortable with like being alone and being by yourself?
I got more comfortable with being by myself when I started hanging around with people who were in relationships and seeing how miserable a lot of them were. Like, most of them were better off alone, but they didn't see any alternative other than either I'm going to have a boyfriend or I'm going to be sentenced to life in solitude. Like, they genuinely see it as a failure. And so for me, it was like, well, the grass is clearly not greener. The grass is, first of all, there's no grass. We're on a beach. Yeah. Like, let's just abolish this grass concept.
We're on an island.
We're on an island, bro. I just started to think, you know what, like nothing is better than anything. Just create your own, where you are now in your life, just make that as fun and comfortable for yourself as possible. And I'm still in that place now where I occasionally dabble with men, but only for my benefit.
Absolutely. As it should be though.
Yeah, like I'll have a cheeky donut, half eat the donut, put it away. That's a metaphor
Come back
for
to it
the
when
man.
I feel like it.
Come back to the man when I feel like spin the block. Hey, big head.
Play them at their own game. How about that?
Have fun. Yes.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Games.
How about them apples?
Games become more fun when you're a consenting player. When you realise that this is actually a game.
I love that. That is so true. Yeah.
Connect 4. Let's go.
Because you know what? Being comfortable being by yourself is such a strength, because then you don't need anyone else. You're like, cool, come in. You want to come in my life? Great. If you want to leave, great.
And a lot of men hate that, by the way. Like they like the idea of you,
a woman leading them. Oh,
yeah, but then they don't want to be needed. They like the idea of it, because when you actually need them, especially for like emotional connection, that's when they start to pull away and become
for them,
icked out.
Their minds can possibly comprehend that level of emotional maturity.
Yeah, because men don't date for emotions; they date for sex. And like,
so true.
Women are the ones dating for emotions.
Do you know what? I was in a relationship where at one point, I'm not going to name which one it was, but I was in a relationship and I just felt like he would have been with anyone. Honestly, like genuinely.
What does that mean?
Do you know what it was? I don't know if you like can relate to this or understand this, but I felt like when I was with him, I could have been any girl.
Oh, as if you just wanted to satisfy a need.
We broke up in the end, and I just wasn't happy like towards the end of the relationship, because I felt like, first of all, it was starting to get to a point where I was like, I actually don't think you like me as a person, because everything that you liked about me at the beginning you don't like now. But like, it was weird. I was like, I want to be with someone where I feel like they love me and want to be with me because they love me, not because they want a girlfriend that they can have and they can bring around, and oh, she's hot and she can come and hang out with my friends, or come and, you know, support me when I do this, and you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
I felt that so strongly from this person. I was like, and then now he's bounced onto someone else, and I thought, oh my god, she's so, and I saw the girl and I was like, I see that now, that she's quite like, you know, quiet and timid, and you know, does, and I thought, you know what, that actually works way better for you.
It works for him, but it doesn't mean that it works. Like, just because something is working for a man doesn't mean the relationship is working.
Yeah, true.
Because the same way that you satisfied a temporary need for him at the time, no matter how little that need was satisfied for, is the same way that woman now is satisfying a temporary need. As long as a man is not internally fulfilled,
that's true.
Women are only going to be temporary satisfaction.
Oh,
so eventually the demure thing, he'll get bored of that and he'll want someone who's complete opposite. Because men are not okay.
They're not.
And I don't mean it in like, oh, me feel sorry for him. No, I mean like, these are not correctly in the head people that you should be relying on to validate you, or to bolster your self-esteem.
You shouldn't rely on anyone ever. Do you know what I mean? We come into this world alone, we die alone. Do you know what I mean? The only person you really can rely on is yourself.
Yes, and you have a responsibility, especially as a woman, to develop a relationship with yourself so that being alone doesn't become your weakness, because men will use your fear of solitude against you. That's the only thing a man can use to control you. You being
so
scared of your
true.
own company. But if you overcome that fear, then men now haven't got anything to use to leverage against you. They will try and use validation. They'll try and use like sexual connection. If you are above that, they don't have anything to use to
So
control
you are just like, you're like women 2.0. That is what you are. So
The iOS update.
Out, babe.
I'm in the beta testing period of the new woman iOS update. Come back in 2 months' time and we'll talk about
I'm like, when's my update kicking in? Fucking hell.
me.
You never finished your degree due to your struggles with mental health. Apparently, I can relate to that. Apparently, according to my producer. How is your mental health now? How are you feeling?
I love that question because back then when I failed the degree and I was having serious mental health issues, I very much felt like I was chasing ducks. Like I can't, and you know when you're so far gone that you can't really control the situation.
Yeah.
So I just have to accept that I'm going to fail this degree. My mental health now is in a better place because, and this is going to sound so crazy to say, but I think it's because I'm single, because there's no man that's like upsetting me or making me doubt myself. And what has really helped with my mental health is, you know, blocking men at the first offense.
Oh yeah, the first red flag.
Yeah,
If they're making mistakes already, and I'd say this to my friends, because I'm the same now. I can't deal with it anymore. Because if I have one more failed situation, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like
you're not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna make it, babe. It's gonna be terminal. So I'm at the point now. If I see one red flag, one wrong move, like isn't it
6 points on your license?
If I see you on that day and you don't text me that day, it's over. I'm serious. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the capacity for it anymore, and it's so freeing. I completely agree. Like having that where you just don't like. That is such a. I really think that makes a difference actually, and you will, because the guy that you're meant to be with, or the person you're meant to be with, would never make a mistake like that.
And you know what? Even the word mistake, right? Like, was it a mistake or was it a decision that they didn't think they're going to have to experience a consequence for, and now they're calling it a mistake in hindsight so that you feel sorry for them? No, I see this similarly to like your driving license. You're a qualified driver, you've passed your test, you're fit to drive on the road. If you decide to do 80 miles per hour on a 20 mile per hour road, that's immediately like license revoked. You know not to do that. Sorry. You know not to do that. I see that in the same way where if a man tells you, oh, let's make plans, you make plans, you agree on a date, and on a day he ghosts you, 6 points on your license immediately. In fact, license revoked. You're not fit to be on the road. DVLA, you're banned for 6 years from driving. As
cars are, as people with driving licenses are, some people shouldn't be on the roads the way some men should not date. Do you know what I mean? Some people shouldn't drive, some people shouldn't have kids, and some people shouldn't date. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I genuinely think it is so scary when I see like, because as well, the whole thing of like, they do that to see how much they can get away with as well. Like,
of course.
Oh, if that's gonna set the standard for the relationship, that's not a relationship I want to be in. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I believe in like off with his head on the first offense, because you only need one chance to make a first impression, not 15 chances. And men know what risk they are taking in the decision they're making. They've assessed the possibility that if I ghost her, she's gonna be annoyed. She might see me a bit differently. However, I don't like her enough to care about that possibility. So let's see what she says. You know, she's probably going to be like, why did you ghost me? Why did you disappear? They think we're going to give them that whole energy of like coming to check in with them. Are we still on for next week? No, we're not still on. You're blocked.
No, I can't do that.
That's so cringe.
That is so cringe.
I'm embarrassed.
We still on? Because it feels like, hi.
Spare dick, please.
Please, can I have some more? So please. Like, it honestly it's giving bag. It's giving bag. I hate being that person, honestly.
But the fact that you're saying all this is an indicator of high self-worth.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hate begging men. Yeah. You're supposed to see checking in with a man on the day of the date that he arranged as begging, because if he was excited about that date, from the moment the crust is still in his eyes and he wakes up, he'll be messaging you, still on for today.
This is
excited to see you.
I actually saw a podcast where they were talking, and it was a man and a woman talking, and the guy said that same thing, like, if we want to, we will. If we want something, we are so driven at getting it that it's like nothing else will stand in my way. Do you know what I mean? No obstacles will stand in their way. They will get you. So if they're acting like that, and I had a guy the other day message me being like, hey, And me and him had gone on a few dates before, but it just didn't, and nothing ended up happening from it. And then he messaged me the other day, hey, let's go on a, like, I would love to take you out. Messaged me on 2 separate apps, by the way, in the middle of the day as well. He lives in the UK.
What were the separate apps?
On Instagram and on WhatsApp. He goes, hey, I would love to take you out soon, blah, blah, blah. I thought, okay, weird. So I was like, yeah, okay, like, it seems keen. Fine, love a bit of keen. Never messaged me.
Oh, so do you know what that was?
What?
Let me tell you what that was. So what men do sometimes, like, oh, girl.
Insert your wisdom into me.
Oh, let me tell you, girl, because I've had that happen before. And it's really annoying because it's like you're being edged. It's like when they're putting a tip in and not putting it in. It's like, do you want to be here or not?
Yeah.
So what he's doing is he was in need of a quick shot of validation. Probably someone's made him feel rejected recently, and he wanted to check if you'll be responsive. He wasn't trying to take you on a date. He wanted to just see if you'll give him attention.
Fuck.
Yeah, he got what he wanted from that interaction. That's why once a man is okay with fumbling something with you, even if that means like what happened with this guy who just asked you on a date and disappeared, it's because at the point where he's disappeared, he's gotten what he wanted from that. He wanted that validation. He wanted to see if you're accessible.
Crazy.
I know. When you realize these things, you just wake up randomly at 3 a.m. like, wait, you?
The one eye, like, twitching.
That's why I block men for little...
I, like, can't do that because my Botox. I'm like...
No, it's switching. You got it.
It's I'm like, what's moving up there? I need someone else to tell me. I don't know.
I recently blocked a man because he invited me to a West End production that he was a part of, and the first red flag was that I paid for my own discounted ticket. It wasn't a date. Like, we weren't like, oh, I'm going to snog your face off. But
yeah,
like, it just felt like very ungentlemanly of him. You've given me a discounted ticket and it's £30 and you could pay for that. I hate that. So I paid for a ticket, but that was a massive strike one.
Babe, that would have been the end of it. I would have been like, why the fuck do I want to come to your shitty show and I have to pay for it? Do you know what I mean? I don't even know if it's going to be good at this point.
See, now I'm going to leave this podcast. You know when someone like, see how I told you that guy just wanted validation and now you're extra mad again. Now we're both going to leave.
Yeah, we're going to be like, do you know what?
Actually, let me unblock him and tell him I was not joking. So
I'm going out tonight. I'm just going to look at every match. You know what? Actually, fuck you. You should all be buying our drinks in this bar.
So this guy invited me to his West End production. I paid for my own ticket, strike one. And then a month, at the time when I went to his show, the following month, I had a show coming up that I was going to be a part of, and I was also going to be hosting. So there was a month's notice, which I had let him know. I said to him, I'd love for you to come to my show. It's going to be on International Women's Day. Slay indeed. And he was like, okay, I'd love to come. I'll take a day off work because he's obviously in this production, so he needs to pre-plan his diary. He said he will ask his staff members if he can get the day off. And I said to him, well, how many days will you need to get an answer? Because at the point when I had invited him, I hadn't announced the tickets on my social channels, but the people that were putting the event together had announced it. So tickets were like halfway sold. It's not a massive venue.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I had announced from my social channels, the tickets might go before he gets a chance.
Yeah.
And I don't have guest lists. I don't have any...
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't have any like control of tickets.
Yeah,
like I'm just hosting and performing like as part of the lineup of many other performers. He said, oh, I just need one day. I said, okay. Girl, he ghosted me.
What is wrong with them?
So what happened was, when the day of my show came, which was International Women's Day, I made sure I've done the show first. Once I got home, blocked him, and then I blocked him on WhatsApp. Then I went to Instagram. You know when you block and unblock someone so it makes them unfollow you and you unfollow them? Did that immediately. I don't want him to have my number because you don't need to have my number.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to see you on Instagram.
Honestly, we need to normalise just blocking.
Normalise blocking men with no explanation.
Literally no explanation and just blocking them off everything.
Yes,
so they never see your face again. I don't looking at my socials.
I don't even want you to see how well I'm doing, because I feel like sometimes as women we do this thing where like, I'm not going to block him.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit. That's okay. That's another thing. They don't care.
Someone who left you for dead, you want them to...
You think he left you for dead? You think he's seeing your profile and going,
you close up.
Glad she's doing...
Oh my God, my makeup.
Fucking it's the actual delusion. It's so funny that we tell ourselves, oh my God, he's definitely going to be Because like the man that dumped your ass, the man that like rejected you was gonna like, oh, she looks like she's doing so well. So proud of her.
I miss her.
No! In what world? In what universe? Fucking hell, that got me.
Wow, ruin my makeup.
That was the realization, that moment. That was the realization.
But it's like we've all been that delusional. It's like, these guys don't care about you, girl.
Do you know what another one was? Is like when people say about, oh my God, if he still watches your story. Be so fucking for real. You don't give a shit.
Through. So he can get to the story of the girl he likes. He's like,
yeah, literally, he's tapping through. He's trying to get to see what his mates are doing this evening. Like, I don't care. I can't. It's actually really funny.
Oh my God, you finished me. It's so real though. Like,
Yeah, it really
I'm
is.
finishing the rest of this podcast in tears. Like, you've brought me to tears. How ridiculous!
I didn't think this was going to be an emotional one, but apparently it is.
It's for the thumbnail. Let's just.
Yeah. I so.
And then the caption's gonna be, he blocked me on International Women's Day. No, he ghosted me on International
That is
Women's
going to be
Day.
the clickbait. He blocked me on International Women's Day.
Yeah, this man ghosted me, and that's a double offense because it's International Women's Day.
Oh, that is double homicide.
That's like casket straight up.
yeah. He didn't even come to the wake, babe. Oh, I mean, fucking hell, he
Cremate him.
buried you and didn't even
Instant cremation.
Oh my God, that is savage.
Electric chair.
Actually ruthless. They like, and it's actually funny because like honestly, like we do delusion ourselves into thinking like, oh wow, like he really like, and I thought I was like an independent woman, but I genuinely seek validation so much through like men, and it's so annoying because I don't want to, but like I really like sometimes I'm like at home by myself and I just like want, I'm just like, oh, like I just want attention, like why, like I'm a pretty girl, like I'm nice.
What I love about you is that you know yourself so well. A lot of women don't even have the self-awareness to vocalize that what they want is attention, because what you do that's so important, and this is a process that matters to me as well, is because I'm not above feeling these things too. Sometimes I just want a man's attention, but then I ask myself, right, do I want the attention or do I want the feeling that comes from getting the attention?
It's just the feeling.
Okay, it's just the feeling.
Yeah.
What is that feeling? Like, if you can name the thing and be specific. Okay, the feeling is like feeling wanted, feeling lusted after, feeling like the focus, feeling like I matter to someone. Are there other ways I can feel that?
And I think it sometimes comes so much from within. It's like what you lack from within, like what you lack to give yourself, you search for within other people. Like I think I am quite hard on myself and quite self-critical. And so I think this thing from men, and it's so funny, like even when I go out, I'm like, I want like guys to like come up to me and look at me. As soon as one comes up to me, fuck off. Get away from me.
I want the kidnapper to choose me.
Yeah, serial killer. literally, I want the kidnapper to choose me. But it is so interesting, and it is so true that it's just like this validation hit. It's like a drug, isn't it? It's so bad.
I know exactly what it means. This is not your fault.
About to like just like drop one of my new songs. I'm like, so guys, I've been working on a song for a really long time, and I think you know when they're like,
and it's called I Need Attention. It's called Take It Away, Lottie.
Male validation. Yeah.
Part of my EP called Attention.
Speaking of male validation, you do dominatrix.
Yeah.
Which requires zero male validation. Actually, it's kind of validating, I guess, isn't it? Because you get to validate from the fact that you're like shitting on men pretty much.
That's a great... Well, no, not yet anyway. Joking. But what I mean, to clarify what you're saying, yes, like being a dominatrix, it's a different kind of validation. I like financial validation from men.
Oh, don't we all?
Do you know, like, if a man tells me, prove it. You like me? Prove it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're feeling horny? Show me how horny you are at this bank account. I want to see. You send me
if
double
you
it.
Into numbers. How many?
Quantify your roast right now in a 3-digit sum. What would that be? And can you show me your answer in my Barclays sort code 20?
This is mine. Yeah.
Right.
Literally. How did you come into the BDSM world? Like, how did that even come about?
So I used to be a total pushover. I used to be a super pick me.
Really?
Yeah.
You're so real just to admit it.
Yeah, that's why.
We all were, though. I think we've all had unpick me girl time.
But then we could say had. For us, it's the past tense. For some of the girlies, they're still there. They're still there, and they're not trying to move anytime soon. So I used to be a super pick me. For those who don't know what a pick me is a woman's like, so choose me, pick me, love me. I want to be the one that a man walks into a room and selects because I'm a
they
girl.
They literally, their oxygen is male validation. Like that is their oxygen. That is how they breathe.
They like men more than they like life itself.
Yeah.
And those kind of women are very scary. They're the worst kind of girls to go on a
Worst
night
of
out
friends.
with. They'll follow a random man home. You'd be worried about them. Like,
They're the friends that will be like, oh, like, you'll like bring up a guy and she'll be like, oh, I don't really think he's very fit, and then she'll go out with him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That feeling. Oh,
that liking male validation is the foundation of being a pick-me. And so as I started to see that pick-me stuff wasn't working, like it was sending me, like I used to be that girl who was so sensitive to things not working with men that it would just send me in a 3-month spiral of ruminating.
Really?
And well, actually, like, just feeling really low about yourself. And it's like, no man is worth that.
Yeah.
And so as I started to get a little bit older,
and because it's not even anything to do with you. This is the thing.
It's
They're
never
rejecting
anything to
you
do
or them
with
doing that. It's nothing to do with you.
it's never anything to do with
No,
you.
literally.
Like, of course, like on a surface level, yeah, maybe they find it annoying that you need a lot of validation from them, but deep down, they chose you initially because you were satisfying a need that they've now, the itch has been scratched, basically. So it's like they no longer have a reason for you to be there. So it's not about you. But initially, it was about you satisfying that itch and scratching it for them. Then got older, and I used to come across women on Twitter who I would see them like wearing leather, and like there'll be a man next to them on his knees with a collar around his neck and a chain attached to the collar, and she's holding the other end of the chain. I'm like, what's going on here? And why am I so interested in this? And then I saw that they were doing events where it's like literally like dominatrix convention kind of thing. And how it would work is all the women in the room are dominant women and all the men are submissive men. And for that allocated amount of hours, you're going to be dominating the men, whether it's telling them to lick your shoe, whether it's making them crawl on the floor in a circle, whether it's putting them in a human-sized cage and laughing at them and like throwing food at their head.
I think this would heal something in me.
It was actually healing for me. It's like a rage room, but without the physical impact.
That would actually heal something for me, truly.
Yeah, like, I don't like to talk about dominating men from a place of like trying to promote it, because if you're a woman who is still very male validation driven, and if you're a woman who is easily are love bombed, this won't work for you, because men are still men. Even the submissive men, they'll love bomb you by saying they've never come across a goddess as amazing as you. And like, if you're hearing that and you're coming from a background of men shitting on you and telling you that you're never going to be good enough, this will take you to a height of euphoria, hearing a man call you goddess and telling you that he's devoted to you. Like, men just say things in the moment.
So you think it's more for the women who are already like...
You need to be detached entirely from male validation, because even subs can ghost you.
Wow.
Yes. And I think as well, for me, in my journey of being a dominatrix, especially at the beginning stage, I needed that. I needed to have a complete 180 on my view of men. I needed for a brief while to be in a position where I was the one like dismissing men and yelling at them and like, go face the wall, you loser. But now my style of dominance has calmed down, where like it's not satisfying anymore for me to raise my voice. Like if I need to raise my voice, then I'm not that dominant, am I? Like real dominance is quiet. Yeah. Real power does not have to prove itself. Not to say that shouting isn't part of it. Sometimes shouting is fun. Be like, get on the floor now, you little bitch. What I enjoy now and what I get out of being a dominatrix now is I just love dealing with men on my own terms. I love knowing that this man is in my life on a mutually agreed, consensual basis that serves a purpose. The purpose being you're making my life easier on the terms we have agreed, whether that's financial, whether that is you're sorting out my vintage parcels for me. Like, you're doing what I need you to do. And when you decide to stop being useful, then off you go. There's no negotiating or debating. Yeah. We've agreed on what you're going to do for me. Should you decide to drop your weight or drop your effort, then that will result in the consequence of you being revoked of access to me. So it's made me so much stricter and so much more relaxed in my vanilla life when it comes to men who come into the picture. I don't feel weird about letting them go.
Surely you're so intimidating to men though.
Oh yeah, I'm intimidating to men because I've cracked the code, as in how they see it. They see it as I've cracked the code. Yeah. The code being that their little game doesn't work on me, because the games that men use are actually all very tried and tired. Like they will all use the same game.
It's tired.
It's so tired, girl.
Yeah.
It's always the same game of like, they will be liking your pictures and coming on really intense with you. And then when they start to see that you're reciprocating, they drop their effort because they want to see you chase them. Or they will like ask you certain questions to gather information about you. And they want to see how long it's likely to take before you're likely to have sex with them. And if from what you've said, it's not looking like you're going to have sex with them as soon as they'd hoped, that's when they start to pull away and detach. Like, men approach us for a selfish need. They're not approaching us because they want to talk about emotions and love us. They're approaching us because they want to take from us. Like, whatever a man is lacking in his life, that's what he wants to take.
My mind is
from
getting
you.
blown right now. I don't know about you guys and how like fucking hell. It's all just a big game. This is the thing.
It's a game, but you know what? I learnt to enjoy the game, and I learnt that the lesson here is you play silly games, you win silly prizes. So decide what kind of game you're going to play. Because if you want to play a game with men where you just want every and any man to like you, that's the silly prize, is that you're either going to be knocked up with a bum's baby. Sorry to that baby,
Real.
but like,
Real.
either that or your career's derailed because you was following a man around and letting him have you wilding out on social media because you have no other outlet.
Yeah.
Because you have eliminated your friend group because you are so man hungry that you stopped talking to your friends.
Yeah.
And now that he's not in your life anymore, you have nobody to actually process your thoughts with.
Yeah.
Or you've played the wrong kind of game where you've caught an STI from this man and it's like completely changed up your life. Like, you're having to now treat this. You had no business barebacking this man. What was the reason?
Yeah.
But then if you're playing the game to win, it's about deciding from the onset, what do I actually want from men?
This is the thing as well, because it's like there's no point in playing the game for the prize that is what, a shit guy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's why you can't see men as a prize.
I found it like with my ex, I was just kind of like going back and forth, and I thought, do you know what? There's no point in me playing a game because I don't want to get back with him. Like, it's do you know what I mean? That's the thing, and you like, because like if I actually like a guy, I will play it so like where I think, okay, so if I say this, they took this long to respond. When it's like someone I no longer like feel like,
it's an ego
do you know
stroke.
what I mean? It's just like, and it's an ego thing as much for me as it is for them. Do you know what I mean? Where I'll call them or they'll call me, and I don't pick up and they don't pick up. Do you know what I mean? And it's just this game that's just like never really going to go anywhere, but it just makes both of us feel a bit like, oh, you know, a bit of a
temporary zing.
A temporary zing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like having a tic tac. The tic tac is so small, it only lasts so long, but then after that, it's
so
done.
like, don't play the game if it's not like.
No, that's why you got to change your focal point.
Yeah.
The focal point can't be, oh, I want this man to like me, and then the game winning means that, oh yeah, I've won him over him. Yeah. No, the game is now the game is, I want to see which man's going to invest the most in me financially.
Let's play that game.
Let's talk about that game. I love that game.
That game is so fun.
That game is really fun.
I play that game every time I go out.
Literally,
babe.
I'm getting good at it now.
Oh, babe.
I'm the friend who's getting, like, my friends know to pimp me out because I'll get us all drinks. I'm like, you're not buying me a drink unless you're getting a drink from me and my friends. And I'm only going to tell you my name after you get me my drink. So
yeah. I like to do this thing where I'm like, I'll do the little vapid blonde thing. Like,
that's so smart.
Yeah, it's so good. Because like guys, they see like very like vapid blonde looking girls as quite like damsel in distressy. And like, I'm like, oh, I'm at the bar and I'm trying to get the barman's attention.
Oh.
I'm doing this, like, and then they flock to that. I'm telling you, it's like fucking seagulls at the beach. Literally, there'll be like 4 of them, and they're like, "So, do you want a drink?" I'm like, "Oh, you'd love a drink." I feel like that.
This is why you're smart.
From like that, like Disney thing. Like literally. Yeah.
But you know what you're saying? That's so smart. And I try to encourage women to do this, and they get too lost in the like academic thinking of it all. They're like, yeah, but like, you shouldn't have to down yourself down. I'm like, go.
This is the only
girl, you're not ready for this life. Bye.
You need to be underestimated.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's the point.
The power that we
you
hold.
are a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
You have the appearance of someone who doesn't know that much.
Yeah.
But you've already strategically planned exactly where you want it.
With the vibe of like, oh, I can't afford my own drink. Oh, I need a daddy to help me. And then that gives them validation from being able to buy me a drink, because then they go, I'm a big man.
And all you wanted was the drink.
They are caveman. They're caveman thinking.
Google got dumb. holding stick, fire.
Dumb. It's literally like, oh, if I buy her drink, I am man. It's that fucking simple. Like,
I use that to my advantage. I use men's stupidity to my advantage. I use men's lustful desires to my advantage, because men aren't going to stop being lustful just because you read bell hooks, unfortunately. Like, similar to you, Lottie, like when you are at a bar and you're like, oh, I'm ditzy, I know nothing. I do a similar thing, because what I found is if I talk to men like I talk on my podcast, that drink is not being bought.
It's not. They're bored.
They're bored. They want to argue.
Yeah.
But if
The thing is, these guys in these bars, you have to understand like what environment you're in as well, like,
Yes.
and what you're trying to gain from it. Like, I'm gaining a drink. I'm not gaining. I don't want a boyfriend. I don't want a discussion. All right. Right. I don't even want to chat. All right. I want a drink.
Get me up
and toilet. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the store. I want to chat shit about the guy who I just got a drink from, and that is it. This is the thing. So it's not like dumbing yourself down, like to get a man that you really want. It's dumbing yourself down to get what
an
you
outcome.
Want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know how you said that you're gonna chat shit about them afterwards. They chat shit about us too.
Of course.
So for me, it's like, yeah, I play very like sort of just innocent, casual, fun. I've got very playful, fun energy, and I use that to my advantage. So I don't tell men that I'm a feminist and I'm an academic.
They would run.
Literally, I'm just like, I'm just here to have a good time, seeing where things go. What's your name? Well, maybe I'll tell you my name after you get me a drink.
Yeah.
Then they're like, what do you want to drink? Okay, I'm going to have a picante.
I'll get the most expensive bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
That face is so real.
Like, I've just learned that, you know what? I don't want love from men. I don't want a relationship from men. I want their money. I want their fun company. Period. I want to enjoy the honeymoon love bombing period. So when men love bomb me, I pretend like I'm in on it. I pretend like it's working, and I love bomb them back by acting like it's affecting me. And then when the love bombing runs out, when they realize they're not going to sleep with me.
I clocked him out on his love bombing once. I clocked him like in the moment. I just was like astounded. He literally said to me, like, we'd hung out like a few times, and this was in my like very heavy like partying phase when I was living in LA, and I was hanging out with this guy, and it was this famous rapper or whatever, and he was like, we should like fly out to Vegas and get married. And I was like, why are you saying that? Because you don't mean it. And I clocked him. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what? And he was like, actually, you're right. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, because a man who is impulsive is not a man that you should be.
But it's like we don't
seriously.
know each other. We're like,
yeah, that's
we're sat here like getting drunk together in the middle.
And that tells you he doesn't value his life, because what if you're going to rob him?
Period.
What if because when you get married, there's a contract. Like, what if you get all of his money? I stole
an 8 ball from his house when he mugged me off.
An 8 ball?
Yeah. He mugged me and my friends off, and so I stole an 8 ball from his house. You know the like 8 ball in the pool table?
Yeah, when you play.
Yeah, when you play it, so he can play.
8 ball is the important.
Because it's the important ball. So I was like, have fun playing.
I love the idea of that.
I was like, I was not going to steal anything that was like
that's
valuable.
Really twisted.
It was really.
I've heard girls do mad things like jam 2 CDs in their PlayStation.
Love.
Yeah, hide their remote or take the remote.
It's a good one as well.
Yeah, like unplug random things. Like, let's take the wire.
It's not stealing.
No, it's about psychologically destroying
their brain. Yes, yeah, it is. It really, really is.
Totally.
Honestly, this is you know what, me and you, we're cut from the same cloth.
We genuinely are. That's why I love it here.
Because as well, another thing with the drink thing as well, they get to speak to me for 5 minutes. You're welcome. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you paid for a drink, but like you got to speak, you got to be seen talking to me.
And when that 5 minutes is done, well, it was so lovely talking
I got to toilet. Me and my friends just gonna go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Doesn't return.
Never.
Or they see me talking to another guy. Yeah. The game is the game. I don't even feel ashamed about hiding that.
They're not clocking on. They don't get it anyway. So who cares?
I definitely.
I like them drunk, and I like them vulnerable.
Literally, because you know what? That's how they like us. They like us drunk and vulnerable. But you know what's mad? Yeah, when men are drunk and vulnerable, we don't approach them to grope them and sexually assault them.
Yeah.
But when we're drunk and vulnerable, it costs us our lives. It's just let me like, you gonna spend money on me?
Yeah, exactly.
You gonna be kind to me? You gonna buy me a drink? That's all I want from men. And yeah, usually the more drunk they are, the more confident they feel to do that kind of thing.
It's so true.
But no, I don't believe in. This is why men are so lucky that we're not interested in getting revenge on them. Oh, we just want to drink.
Babe, truly, yeah. We're just making the best out of a bad situation. Like, you're on earth here with us, so we just have to coexist.
Yes, and if you don't like it, then don't be around women, because it's not by force.
This child, honestly,
God, this is so needed. Oh, God, we had a good cry.
I know. That was a
manic cry.
That was a funny cry.
I have a podcast called the Slumflower Hour.
Oh yeah, let's talk about your podcast.
Yes.
How's that going? Because
it's going so well,
I have a podcast, as you can see.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm in my 3rd season, And I love having this podcast. I like to call my podcast The Domain for Disobedient Women Who Date Men. So this is not a podcast you listen to if you want to hear ideas on how to pamper and coddle men. This is the podcast you listen to when you want to be radicalized into deserving more for yourself and actually acting on that. Yes, I love
tuning in.
Literally, I love to radicalize women into having some self-worth. And so the podcast has been going for just over 2 years. And I also have a Patreon where I dive deeper into the concept.
I need to get a Patreon.
Oh my God, Patreon is so fun.
Yeah.
Because all the things that I would literally get cancelled for, I say it on the Patreon because people on the Patreon, they're paying to be there. They're not going to be like, I'm so offended.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they didn't listen to the full clip.
Yeah. So true.
So it's like...
What kind of guests do you have on?
So I had Catherine Ryan on the podcast and she was so fun. We were talking about dominating her husband. I was giving her ideas on like give him some tasks and then call him a good boy and like only have sex with him as a reward. And I know that sounds very controversial to say, but I think that sex is a tool. It's not just an activity, but it's also a tool. Access to your body is something that you can leverage, especially in marriage. I feel like in marriage, both the woman and the man get complacent and the woman starts to give too much access. So the man stops valuing that intimacy. So I feel like when you revoke the pussy entirely, put it away in storage and make him...
Lock it in a box.
Literally, put it in the loft.
Yeah. Put it in the shed down the garden.
It's pissing down the rain. Can't go out tonight, I guess. When you put the pussy away and you start to put your man to work and you give him the occasional good boy. Yeah. Like men love being called a good boy.
Love.
So I was discussing that with Catherine Ryan and that was fun. And then I've had 2 dominatrixes on the podcast as well.
You're my first dominatrix. And I'm so excited. I hope
I won't be the last.
No, you won't, baby.
It's so fun, like just having the kind of podcast where I only want to speak to powerful women who have made decisive choices about their lives because it's so easy for us to get swept up. I've seen great women fall to the wayside and lose their careers, lose their money because a man came into the picture. And we have to make a promise to ourselves that we won't be that sad, shameful statistic because it's so easy for it to happen. When you like men more than you like respect, when you like men more than you like succeeding, when you like men more than you like life itself, men are the reason that your life falls apart. Yeah. And you have nothing to blame but yourself.
Do you know what? I sleep so well at night at the moment.
Bet you do.
I do, babe. And I have no one. No one's out there cheating. No one's disappointing me. There's no one out there that could literally... There's not a man out there that can mug me off right now. Like, it feels so good.
That is a good position to be in.
A good position to be in.
And I'd love for that to be the position you remain in until a man gives you a good reason.
And this is the thing. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the guy. And I already have it in my brain, kind of, not even what he looks like or anything, just the vibe of it. And I just know, like, I know
what the vibe.
Like, I just know. Like, I just know when I know, I think. Like,
period.
This is the segment of my show which is called Bedtime Stories. And it's basically where people write in and I give unsolicited advice with my guest, basically. Yeah. So the first one is, I broke up with my ex 6 months ago, but every time I think about cutting him off completely, I get a random £300 bank transfer with a message like, just in case you need something, Angel. Babe, I do need something. I need him to stop haunting my finances like a sugar daddy ghost. Do I keep the money? Do I block him? Or do I just accept that I'm now in a financial situationship with a man I don't even speak to?
Oh, girl, that's a good situation to be in with an ex.
But with an ex, I think it can hinder future relationships in a way.
Unless she turns him into her financial sub.
True.
So when he sends 300, just text him double it.
£300 from a man that you don't speak to is never a bad thing.
No, not at all. I would say to him, double it.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna double it, then I don't want to hear from you.
Love that.
And if you're gonna apologize, I expect more than 300. Add a 0 to that, and then we'll have a conversation.
That's so real. I love it. You're like, well, yeah, no.
Next caller.
Next one. Yeah. And next. Last week, I matched with a guy on Hinge and we hooked up. It was a one-night stand, mutual ghosting situation, so all good. Fast forward to this I've had that before, to be fair. It's quite nice when you both just ghost each other and we both know this wasn't good. Fast forward to this Friday and me and some work girls head to drinks after one of them introduces my hookup as her boyfriend of 6 months. What the fuck do I do? I'm not that close with her and it could make work so awkward if I say anything. But I feel bad not letting her know she's with a cheater. Tell her. Ruin that man's life. No, wait. No, if I'm learning from you, tell him you need money. Extort that motherfucker.
Wow. What I need to know is if she's still on talking terms with that Hinge hookup guy. I mean, they're mutually ghosted, right? But then she said she's not close to the girl. So I feel like because there wasn't anything extensive going on with that guy,
and you're not close with the girl, you don't really
it doesn't, because it's only going to be drama for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's actually not worth it. I would just, because you know what, there's certain L's you have to take in private. Like, I don't even want to be sharing a penis with another woman and it's so close in proximity in terms of like, we both ghosted each other and this is your boyfriend of 6 months ago. I'm embarrassed for the girl who that's her boyfriend.
But that's the thing, I feel sympathy for the girl and I'm like, I have to let her know because the girl is like, girl to girl, like, can't have you be.
I'm coming to you as a woman.
Man, yeah. Hey, girlie, just wanted to let you know those text messages. Oh, hellish, those messages.
How would you feel if you got a message like that?
I messages like that, babe. Like, be fucking for real. I've gained a bit of weight recently and my partner has been trying to be really supportive about it, but they keep bringing it up all the time that I'm a curvy queen and that they love a thick girl.
Partner's doing a lot.
Yeah, he's doing the most. I'm like, is he
overcompensating?
Like,
yes, curvy queen. You better eat them croissants, girl.
Yes,
Hey, down, mama.
Boots the house down, you did, honey. Literally, that is it. I'm like, I get that they're trying to help, but it actually just makes me feel worse being constantly reminded of my new shape. How do I tell them I don't like it without coming across as petty?
I don't think it's petty to have a boundary, though. This is the thing. Women are so scared to say, I don't like it, that they feel fear that they're going to attack someone by saying, hey, I don't like it when you place emphasis on my weight. I prefer compliments like, this dress really suits you. You look stunning. Love that color on you. I can tell that you are really enjoying wearing this.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you
then
don't have
you struggle with like hints as well. You can't hint with the man.
You can't hint. You got to be direct, babe. Like, I don't like it. You know what? It's a huge turn off for me. When you say like, it's a huge turn off when you make emphasis on my weight. That's when they listen because they hear the word turn off.
What's your biggest turn off?
Ooh, my biggest turn off is a man who does not like spending money on women.
Oh, that's true. It's like, what am I worth to you?
What? Nothing, clearly.
Yeah. All right, next one. Me and my long-term boyfriend recently decided to try some BDSM stuff in the bedroom. Ooh. After a while, I realised I wasn't into it and I'm just more of a vanilla girl. But he absolutely loves it. I'm really worried that if I come clean about hating it, he'll lose interest in sleeping with me or be suppressing a side of himself. How do I talk to him about this? The same thing, babe. Just talk to him about it. Like,
and also,
honestly, you need to just be like real.
A man losing interest in you isn't like you're not getting a cancer diagnosis.
Interest in you because you don't want to do something. Bye.
He's allowed to lose interest.
That way.
We're entitled to our own interests. Like, if I find out...
He also is too. If he likes and wants to do that with someone else, go and do it with someone else.
He should.
Someone else that's more vanilla.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
literally.
Women be acting like, oh, a man losing interest is the worst thing ever.
They act like it's like, oh my God, I have to do everything to try and keep this one. Yeah. There are other men in the world. There are other really nice people and other really nice men and women in the world.
I completely agree.
Do you know what I mean? There's so many. I have such good guy friends that would literally kill a man if he did anything disrespectful to me.
Me too.
I have such good male friends I love who, you know, cis, straight men. And I'm like, there are good ones out there.
I agree.
They treat their girlfriends amazingly. And I'm like, so they do exist. You don't have to, hold on to the last straw of hope of one that's giving you the fucking bare minimum.
And also it's like, if a man discovers that he's kinky, usually what happens, because I come across a lot of men who they don't tell their girlfriends or their wives that they have these kinky inclinations and they come to women like myself to like talk about it and explore it. Even if you tell him you're not into it, but you decide to still stay with him, he might be having extracurricular activities with other people. So you might need to decide for yourself, is this a long-term situation where compatibility is likely to last? Because like I said, a man losing interest in you is not the worst thing in the world. There's another man.
Yeah.
There are men who are very vanilla. There are a lot of men who are not interested in kink.
Yeah.
Widen your horizon. Like, you're holding on to this man too tight.
Yeah.
That's why you're devastated that he's not into kink. I mean, that's why you're devastated that he's not vanilla.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay that he's not vanilla.
Yeah.
He'll find his people, you find your people.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on swiftly.
Maybe this was a good discovery. Maybe this was a good, opportunity to discover something. I think a lot of people are just like lessons in your life. Oh, okay, well, I tried that and that didn't work for me. Actually, I think I want someone more like that.
What lesson were you in the last guy you dated's life?
Do you know what? I don't know what lesson I was for him, but he, for me, was, do you know what? He was a step in the right direction in terms of I'd been letting guys disrespect me for years and I'd been in just only toxic relationships, really terrible relationships with people and been accepting the bare minimum. He actually was, good to me and he loved me and he treated me well. But I realized in that, because I'd had I was scraping from the barrel before, so I didn't really realize exactly what I would want in a guy. But with this guy, he was great because he taught me these things. There were certain little things I'm very I like to be appreciated when I do little things. Like I cooked him a dinner once and had like made a little menu and stuff. And I just don't really feel like it was like very appreciated. Like I'm very like, what's it, like acts of service. That's my like love language. And he wasn't really like that. And I think when I date someone, I would like them to be a bit more like that.
Yes.
Also, I want someone who's a bit more supportive. Like he has his own career and he's doing really well in it, but I would want someone a bit more supportive of me, you know? So it was just like little things, but I thought, you know what, like, thank God he loved me into loving myself, actually.
Sometimes that's all you need.
And do you know what, my self-confidence since being with him shot up.
As it should be. You're stunning and you're smart and you're really
funny. He was the first man I've been with that actually really appreciated me and was like, and would tell me like, you're stunning, you're gorgeous, I love you, I want to marry you and have kids with you. Like he was the first guy that had said that to me, and I was like, do you know what, like I am worthy of it. I think before I just was like, this is not going to happen for me. And so no, I'm like eternally grateful for him for that.
Yeah, and I think that is so important that you have that perspective of yourself, because you are smart and you're very funny.
Thank you.
And you're so dynamic and multi-layered, and it's not often that people like yourself who are in this kind of industry have this much of a personality. No offense.
Thank you.
But do you kind of get what I mean? And yeah, there'll be men who'll be turned off by that, but there'll be so many men who are turned on by it. And your existence is not about trying to make men turned on. Your existence is about finding the most authentic and exciting version of yourself and living in that for as long as you can, because you don't know when you're going to die. Not to be morbid, but we don't know how much time we've got. So all this time spent trying to adapt to men's desires is a wasted life. I think men should be adapting to us. They're not adapting to us. They're not sitting around on round tables being like, how can we get women to like us more? What can we do to meet more, to be pleasing women more?
So true.
They're not. They're just staying at their level and expecting us to come down. So, you know, I've loved being on this podcast. This has been such a fun conversation.
I've had so much fun, and I really wish we had more time, honestly.
No, we laughed, we cried.
We cried.
We howled.
Tried shit. It was great. Well, thank you so much, Shadera, for coming on, and we'll see you again next week, guys.